morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone around the world. I'm Paul Sisler, and this is In the Moment. I know, no tie, no dress shirt, because this is my last episode for the next 2 to maybe 3 weeks, because I got to finish writing my book. So I will have another book coming out, hopefully by the end of this year. I'm going to get it finished up and submitted here by June. So I need the next 2 to 3 weeks to concentrate and focus on my book. But in the meantime, we have a nice, relaxing, shoot the shit day with Jeremy Baker. Hello, Jeremy.
What's up, man? I'm ready to go. Let's do this. Let's do this, man. This is gonna
yes. And on this episode, this is about like current events. We're going to talk about some different things that have been going on. And I'm going to lead off on this comedy and controversy with someone that I watch on YouTube. And I really like what Mr. Farron has to say here. So let's give him a go.
Trump made a big showing this week to end his trip to Ireland and Scotland a little bit early. He was having fun playing golf at his golf courses, and he was so mad because he said he had to go back to the United States and confront this woman that has been lying about him apparently for years, he alleges. That woman, of course, is E18 Carroll. But what's interesting about Trump's comments, I got to go back and confront this woman. He actually made that statement once it was too late for him to actually confront her in court. And he knew that. Like, there's no way he didn't know what the timeline of the trial was. So he waited until the point where his lawyer announced, Joe Tacopina, we're not calling any witnesses for the defense. We're not presenting any evidence for the defense. We're done. And the judge said, all right, we're done. Jury, you're off on Friday. We're going to go over jury orders and instructions with the plaintiffs and the defense lawyers on Friday. Then on Monday, 10 a.m., we're doing closing statements.
Now, I've learned from watching David Pakman that if you take a break from the video about every 30 seconds to a minute, they won't nab you for the copyright violations. So,
I got you. On a technicality.
And once all that was settled, Trump came out and said, from, Ireland, oh, I got to get back and confront her, knowing it was too late for him to do that.
Now, remember, Trump knew it was too late. It was too late.
It was.
So what the judge did Thursday evening at 5 p.m. issued, I guess, what you would call an emergency ruling. And he said, well, hold up, folks. We got a new development here. Turns out the defense might actually have somebody that they want to call as a witness, and they're entitled to do that. So I am now amending the court schedule pending Donald Trump confirming that he is going to come in and actually testify in this trial.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
That is pure genius on the judge's part. That was pure genius. Because he knew as soon as we were like, Trump's guilty, Trump would have said, oh, well, I told everybody I was coming back to defend myself. It's a political ploy, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I love how he called the bluff. He's like, oh, okay, you're coming in.
Well,
cool,
and Farron goes on to saying all that. This is like the best trolling ever. This judge just trolled Trump. Okay.
This is next level. This is next level. He should get a medal for this. If there's a troll award, that's perfect.
Yes. And I don't care if you're on the left or on the right or an independent like myself, if you think that Trump has any integrity or any honesty or anything like that, you're sadly mistaken. He is corrupt. He thinks he's some kind of mafia don. And quite frankly, he thinks he can get away with anything. And that's what he's.
What did you? Yeah. Did you watch the interview they did? Geraldo did with Bill Barr?
No, I saw. I didn't see the Geraldo interview. No.
Oh my God, it's Bill Barr, very, very professionally destroys Trump. Oh my God, it's epic. I had to remake it and post it on my page because it was so good. But he basically said that even if you support Trump's policies. Even if you love his ideas, Trump can't deliver Trump policies because he, one, doesn't know how, doesn't have a mental capacity to do it. And he says it's a complete, literally says if Trump is left to his own devices, it's a literal horror show, is what he says. and wow, finally people are actually starting to stand up to this bullshit. But
yes,
yeah, good.
Yes. So what do you think about Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon? Pick and choose which one you want to talk about first.
Yeah, I've looked into the Don Lemon one. I haven't really heard much about it since he's been fired. But of course, Tucker, wow. I don't even think we've seen the worst. I think they're saving the worst for when he opens his stupid mouth. And I'm sure he's said some far worse things than what has been published so far. And it's got to be one of the reasons Dominion settled, because they literally said that there would be something they would not be able to come back from. If these other messages came out, it would be something they would be able to recover from. So that's why they ended up settling.
Yeah.
So he cost them almost $800 million.
Yes. You know, my friends Bryce, Ariel, and Ossia, they did an interview with Jimmy Dore, who talks about Tucker Carlson. And he points out a lot of things that Tucker Carlson doesn't give a shit. He can say anything he wants because, you know, he doesn't have to worry about advertisers and things like that because of the whole subscriptions and things. So basically, Tucker Carlson had a free for all. He could say anything he wants, you know.
Well, I'm glad he's done.
Right. And where Jimmy Dore kind of gives him a little praise. And I understand where Jimmy Dore is coming from and all that. And I love Jimmy Dore. But I don't always agree with Jimmy, you know. But anyways, you know, Tucker Carlson, he was a cash cow for Fox.
That's all, yeah.
and now that he's gone, Fox has lost 50% of their viewing audience.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like the worst quarter ever for Fox.
But that actually bothers me.
They still have quarters of a trill to pay off too.
Well, yeah. I mean, they got more than that coming too. But I can't believe that. I mean, I understand the viewership drop, but man, it just goes to show you how many people believe the absolute nonsense that came out of Tucker Carlson's mouth.
Yes.
If they're that loyal to him as an individual, I mean, that to me bothers me. There shouldn't be that many people that. But no, you'd think with Fox News would turn around and do the right thing from here on out and try and regain some integrity and some dignity. But no, they're just doing the same stuff. Now they're trying to say there's a whistleblower. They have evidence. Okay, they again have evidence. There's a whistleblower that Biden took bribes to alter foreign policy, blah, blah, blah. And then before even verifying that the whistleblower was an actual thing, an actual person, they went on Fox News, they went on OAN, they went on Newsmax, spouted this nonsense. All the evidence is coming. And the more they get questioned about it, the more they're like, well, we really don't know anything about this. So it's just gaslighting. They just want everybody to stay tuned for another week while they, you know what I mean? It's all they're doing. They just keep buying themselves a week by saying, oh, we have evidence. We're going to show it in 10 days. And then 10 days comes around and everybody kind of forgets about it. It's their whole game plan. They just, it pisses me off. Instead of running on any actual policy or anything that would actually benefit the American people, all they're trying to do is lie, cheat, and steal their way back into the White House. That's what they've become. Right. They're not a party anymore. They're like a regime.
Well, yeah, no, I agree with that. You know, and like I said, I'm an independent. I'm not held to any party. I don't like either party. Okay, and I think the left is also corrupt, you know, and when they do corrupt things, I'm sure that Biden's got his hands in things that he's not supposed to have his hands in. And if he gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar, I want them to prosecute him too, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, we should be holding our politicians to the highest possible standards, man, not this.
Exactly. So for me, if they're corrupt, I don't care which side of the aisle they're on. If they do the crime, they need to do the time. Period.
Yeah.
You know?
And then you have people like, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's all right. And then you got people like Trump that has just gotten away with so much. And you have a lot of these other Republicans that are just getting away with so much. It's just sickening. And the fact that I love watching Jordan Klepper, and there's a few others. There's the Good Liars. There's quite a few different podcasts and people that go out there, and they present Republicans with facts, and they sit there and they just don't get it. There was this one interview. I forget from what show and all that, but he's interviewing this Trumper, and he's talking about how the educational system sucks, how they're teaching inappropriate things to our children and stuff like that. And on his shirt, he's got a picture of different presidents, no jobs, blah blah blah, and then Bill Clinton, blow jobs. And it's like, well, don't you think your shirt is inappropriate? What if kids see that? Well, yeah, but your whole thing is
Can we please
think we're teaching our kids something inappropriate, and you have an inappropriate shirt on. Do you not get the correlation of what you say versus what you do?
Oh my God.
And this is what dumbfounds me. It's like where you're saying, how can these people still be watching Tucker? It's like they are so just their minds are just so mush that they don't comprehend that they're supporting the very things that they're doing and saying that these things are wrong. And it's just like, where is your head?
Okay, speaking of where's your head, I gotta bring up Captain Crazy Pants, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh my God. Okay, so she is basically, I mean, I think she's the Speaker of the House on that side because Kevin McCarthy is just the weakest politician I've ever seen. And this woman is on the Homeland Security Committee and is supposed to know things like, the fact that she didn't even, how does she not know about internet porn? Can we please talk about that for a second? We got somebody on the Homeland Security Committee who literally came out and was like, she discovered lightning, like she discovered electricity. She's like, okay, now we have to discuss this. Now, I don't know if you've heard of this website, Pornhub. As soon as she said that, I'm like, everybody in America, even people that never seen Pornhub, have heard of Pornhub. And how does this woman not know? And then she wants to talk about values while she's with a married man, isn't she? How can you talk about values?
Yeah, she's going through a divorce because she cheated on her husband. I know the hypocrisy
of unreal.
Yes. And she knew what Pornhub was. Oh my God, I mean, I'm not saying she ever watched it. I'm not saying she ever watched it, but she knew what it was. But
the way she presented it, though, she was like, I don't know if you've heard of this website, Pornhub.
I know. It's just like,
no, she's like, maybe you've heard of it.
Yes.
Like, everybody's heard of it.
Have you ever heard of OnlyFans?
Yeah, I know. It's like, how does she not know these things? Is she supposed to be securing our homeland? Like, cut me a break, people.
I know.
And then let's keep going on this one, because then she has the nerve to say that step parents, foster parents, aren't real parents or mothers. She says,
yes, I know.
How can a politician in 2023 say something that blew me away? And that makes me mad because I'm a single father whose kid's parents or kid's mom isn't around. So sometimes people that give birth to kids aren't around either. You know what I mean? So the fact that she said that just shows her complete other hate or ignorance.
They're really pushing into this evangelical white supremacy, white nationalism.
That's what they're going for.
And I'm not saying all Republicans are doing it, because I have friends that are Republicans that are that no longer are registered Republicans because they don't want to be associated with the bigotry and the misogyny and the racism and everything else that comes along with it. This party is so broken, it's not even funny. And granted, I mean, the Democratic Party isn't in much better condition itself. Here we are. We have, and I know my liberal friends are just going to really be pissed right now. Here we have an 80-plus-year-old president, okay, that, oh my God. I mean, let me take a step back. Let's go to Dianne Feinstein. All right. What is she, like 89 or something? And people that are saying that she needs to stand down are being called misogynistic and are being called names because you have a woman, and granted, she's had a wonderful run in politics. Now, again, I don't agree with all of her policies or anything like that, but she's just not coherent anymore. She'll be talking to people that she just had a session with or whatever the case is, and not even know that she just spoke with them, or even sometimes know where she's even at. And she's not showing up for duty because, she's just not there. And not that Biden is stumbling like that. I mean, I watched the dinner. He's still got his wits about him, but for how much longer?
Right.
Okay.
Right. But I mean, like you said before, though, even me and I talked about this on the Esteban Hour too. Like you said before, even when he gets reelected, okay, not when he gets reelected, if something does happen to him, we have Kamala as a backup. Plus, we have good people in place now. We have actual qualified people in positions they're supposed to be in.
Right.
Not all of, within his cabinet. I mean, not within Congress, obviously, but so.
Right. You still have to have this mental awareness, and
you do.
Biden's had a good run, and he shouldn't have to go through the walk of shame of needing to step down because he's deteriorating, nor should he have to be told to step down. And you got to remember, the defense of our country, because he is commander in chief, the defense of our country relies on his good judgment. True. And I don't think that he should be running for a second term. I think we need someone more like, and again, I know a lot of people are going to be mad, but I'm really liking Marianne Williamson. Okay.
I want Hakeem Jeffries to run for president, man.
Hakeem Jeffries would be good.
And AOC would be a strong
AOC, Katie Porter, they would be my two top picks. Okay, because I find them to be more progressive. Remember, I am a progressive socialist. Okay, I like the progressives. I wish the right had progressives. Okay, and quite frankly, the only person on the right that I liked, there was a few. When John McCain was alive, I really liked John McCain. I thought he would have made a really good president if he would have got elected. I had no fear of McCain. In fact, I remember during one of his town halls when people were, again, falling for the right-wing propaganda that Obama doesn't have a birth certificate, that he's a Muslim and stuff like that. And John McCain, the only reason John McCain didn't get elected is because he actually stood up for what was right. He said, no, Barack Obama is a good citizen. He is a good human being. Him and I disagree on policy, but he's a fantastic human being,
Yeah, and he was a great leader. But it's funny you say that because, you can't say that about Trump. He's just not a good person.
Right. But the other,
at least, but that's what I was going to say. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I'm sorry. It's funny that the right will literally, like, they support you until you cross them for a second, and then they just attack and you're done. Like, that's what happened to freaking oh my God, Trump and why am I forgetting his name? But that's what happened with help me out here.
Pence.
Jesus Christ. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. too much weed in that. But that's what happened with Pence. As soon as he said, it's like, no, whoa, I'm not doing that. That's what happened with like the fake electors thing that we were talking about earlier. They just snapped on him.
But here's where I want you to think about things, because Marianne Williamson made a tweet, and there were a lot of liberals in there talking shit about her that are loyal to Biden. I want you to think about this for a second, okay? So just for amusement, I ran a poll. All right. And I actually got hate DMs with people saying very hateful stuff because I like Marianne Williamson.
Yeah,
okay? And I'm not supporting Biden. It's not just the right that has that misaligned loyalty to an individual. They do it on the left also. Okay. And again, whether you like Marianne Williamson, whether you like Biden, whether you like AOC, whether you like Mitt Romney is someone on the right that I like. I don't like a lot of his policy, but out of all the politicians that are on the right, he's somebody that I find to be a good human being. Okay. And that's what's hard to come by. Good human beings on either side of the aisle. All right. And
we're missing that. We're lacking that right now.
I can point out about a dozen on the left. I can only point out one on the right, Mitt Romney.
Yeah. I mean, bro, look at what's happening in Congress right now. They're literally holding our entire economy hostage. Yeah. They're saying, if you don't meet our demands, it's like they're hijacking a plane. And like, if you don't give us money, we're going to start killing hostages. Like you're taking an entire economy hostage, risking a Great Depression. And the demands are so insane. Even if we met the demands, it would harm millions of Americans. If we don't agree to their plans and we default and go into a Great Depression, it's going to affect hundreds of millions of Americans. I mean, it's just pure evil. It's pure fucking evil. I'm sorry to say it.
But I believe it's being done intentionally. I think they want the economy to fall. Why would they want the economy to fall?
They wanted to blame it on Biden. They want to make it so bad between now and then. They're just gonna, when elections come around, they're gonna be like, "Look what happened when he was in here."
Blame it on the Republicans. Okay, it'll be a blame game, and the left is gonna blame the right, and the right's gonna blame the left. Okay, that's normal. Okay, why would both sides want to collapse the economy?
That I don't know. That I don't know. Why would you want to?
Because then banks go out of business, little businesses go out of business, and big businesses buy up these little businesses. Money.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah. We always say profit over people politicians, man. I can't stand it. These corporate sponsored. You know what? These politicians should have to wear their sponsors' logos on their suits when they go in, like a F1 racer.
Think about this. I want you to think about this. This is going to blow your mind. Did you know that Matt Gaetz and AOC worked together on a bill?
No, I actually can't.
AOC. And you know what that bill is? To prevent members of Congress from holding shares of stock.
Really? Matt Gaetz is working with AOC?
And AOC.
Damn. That's not something I ever thought. Like, if you would have said they got in a fist fight, I would have believed that better than they actually are working together. You know what I mean? Wow. I mean, hey, you know what though? That goes back to one of my favorite quotes from Frederick Douglass. He's, "I will unite with anybody to do right, and I with no one to do wrong." You know what I mean? You got to put differences aside, even if you hate each other's guts, for the benefit of the country.
And see,
it's the only way it's going to work.
I can't stand Matt Gaetz.
No,
right? I cannot stand him. I think he's conniving. I think he's as corrupt as they come. But this bill alone, if he was somebody that was in my district and this is what he pushed and he got passed, he would get my vote.
I mean, it's a good idea. We have to take money out of the equation, because once the politicians start doing things for themselves and no longer for the people they're supposed to be representing, that's what we have right now. That's what the Trump era brought. He brought out these. I mean, the whole thing with like even his donation scam, that whole thing is going to fall apart. You know what I mean? He's in so much hot water right now. And I think this is just like we said, I think we've said it before, the beginning of the end of this Republican Party, this version of it. I think they're going to get crushed next election. That's what I think anyway.
There is a lot of things going on in this country. We have I don't know if you've heard of them or not. I know you've probably heard of the Forward Party. Here in California, we have a party called the Common Sense Party. Okay.
I like it.
Well, they're pushing, and again, there's a lot of people that are upset with Forward and Common Sense and other parties like them that they don't really have a platform in the aspect of we stand for this and we stand for this and we stand for this. They're all taking on this Forward Party mentality, and this goes back to the late 1800s in relation to like what the Republican Party initially did when the Republicans were the good guys. Okay. They started at ground level and they came up and within 5-10 years became a dominant party. All right. And what these guys are doing, they're doing pretty much the same thing, and they're working from the ground level up. They're working in the communities trying to get things done, and they're trying to change the way that we vote. They're trying to change into a ranked choice or a star voting system to where you can have more fair elections, better representation, which I'm all for that, and quite frankly, I would probably vote for a Forward Party or a Common Sense Party person simply because I like what they're representing. And I know there's a lot of my liberal friends are going to be pissed because you're going to throw your vote away. You're going to throw your vote away and a Republican's going to get elected. I don't see it as throwing my vote away. I see it as sending a message. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take it back just 1 second real quick too. Remember how Matt Gaetz and his little entourage held up the vote for the Speaker of the House, and McCarthy made concessions to ensure that he would be Speaker of the House. Well, if Democrats started doing that and saying, hey, these are the changes that we want, and if you don't give it to me, I'm going to vote for these people that are willing to do it, even though they're never going to get elected. And maybe that would send a message to Democrats to where they would actually get on board and start doing things for the people.
You know me, I'm the positive. I always think positive thoughts, like in the future. I try to anyway. Like when people see chaos, I think because these cases against Trump are being done slowly, meticulously, thoroughly, and they're not, like you said before, they don't break cases like this to lose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just not going to happen. So I honestly think that this whole thing that we're going through right now, this whole ridiculous nonsense, all the hate, all that stuff, though, I think is going to make us stronger in the end as a country, because it has got people focused back on the Constitution. It's got people focused on democracy, and people are starting to see the fascism. They're starting to see the open hate. People getting choked out on subways, people calling people the N-word in stores openly and then hitting them with bags. Like this stuff, I know it looks horrible right now, but like this is their last ditch effort to hold on to some kind of delusion they keep having in their head that I don't even know what they're thinking the end result is going to be. I mean, America is the most diverse country in the world. What do you think is going to happen? You know what I mean?
Well, the problem is we're attacking too many of the wrong issues. And I'm not saying that the issues aren't issues, okay? Racism is a huge problem in this country. Misogyny is a huge problem in this country. Bigotry.
Poverty.
I'm getting there. Bigotry.
Oh, sorry.
is a huge problem in this country. People not liking people because they have a different sexual preference, a different biological belief system, a different, whatever the case may be. Okay. These are all serious issues. Women's right to choose, all serious issues. But the number one problem that allows for the propaganda to work to help create these divisionary aspects is what you just said, poverty. Okay.
I swear we share a brain.
Because when you have as many white people as you do that are also poor, and somebody approaches them and says, it's because this group over here is taking your job. This group over here has an effect on what you're being taught. This group over here is doing this. This group over here is taking away these values. And the poor person is, all I want is a job. All I want to do is put food on the table. But these obstacles are standing in my way. So it makes it so easy to hate on somebody when you're told that they are your obstacle. And that's why the propaganda is so effective. This is why, and I just had this conversation almost parallel in a space the other day on Twitter Spaces. And if we could have a guaranteed minimum wage that matched the cost of living, if we could have a universal basic income, if we could have universal health care, we would eliminate 90% of these problems, because now you eliminate poverty. If you eliminate poverty, then 90% of that propaganda is not going to work, because nobody's standing in your way. You have a job. You are making a wage. You have that home. You have the white picket fence. We have to reestablish the American dream, because the American dream is dead.
Remember how George Carlin used to say this: you have to be asleep for to see the American dream.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean?
People need to wake up. People need to wake up.
There is a better way, and I think we will find it, but we're going to have to go through some shit before we get there. Because until the next election, we're stuck with. I mean, Sarah Huckabee Sanders is trying to repeal segregation laws in Arkansas.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the shit that's going on right now. And that hurt I got sick to my stomach when I read that. How could that even be a suggestion? But that tells you the direction that these people want to go. It's a clear-cut case of,
and with the current Constitution, it's constitutional.
But capitalism, I think everybody has this illusion of success. Even I have it. You know what I mean? We all think we're going to make it big. We're going to have this great idea. Like, I even wrote a book that hasn't sold for shit, but you know what I mean? But it's just, there's the illusion of success that kind of strings you along. Like, oh, you know what? Maybe if I do this, I'll make it. And that doesn't work out. I've tried everything and nothing works out. But yeah, poverty is my number one. And actually, that's what I talk about in my book, is poverty. Poverty is the greatest social injustice in America right now, man. People are suffering. And I've said it before on shows, 50% of America makes less than $30,000 a year. Half of the country makes less than $30,000 a year.
Right.
That's insane. Like, how do you live on $30,000 a year in this country?
You don't. It's funny, because when I wrote my book and I broke down how to truly figure out what the cost of living really is, in 2016, it was $16.50 an hour. And that equates out to around $33,000 to $34,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
In February of 2022, I refigured it. And using the prices then of what everything was, it came out to $36.10 an hour. That's a little over $72,000 a year. So from 2016 to 2022, almost 6 years, it doubled.
It's geographical too. I was actually thinking about this earlier today. It's funny you brought it up, because like, if I made $100,000 a year in my city, I would be living comfortably. Like, I live in a city of 35,000 people. You know what I mean? But $100,000 in New York City, that's nothing. You know what I mean? You're going to have a small apartment. You might have some nice stuff, but you're going to be broke.
Right.
So it depends on where you go in the country too. What city you live in, what state you live in.
Think about this though. When I figured it out as a mean for the country. Okay.
I got you. Like an average overall. Okay.
And the mean overall for the country doubled in 6 years.
That's it. Fuck, that's insane.
Okay.
That is truly insane.
33,000 would have broke your ass in New York, where you would have needed probably 70. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, with it being 70,000 is what you need for the mean over the country, now you need 140 in New York.
Right. Well, and it's funny because it's like America is really manufacturing poor people, because as prices continue to go up, wages are not keeping up. Obviously, minimum wage is still 7 something an hour. You know what I mean? What do you do?
Which
How
brings us back to
why
would the Democrats and Republicans want to break the economy?
Right. Okay. It's just, God, man, are we in a hole that we can't get out of? Is what I'm wondering. Have we gone too far?
It's another Great Depression. The rich people get richer, the poor people suffer through it, and then everybody builds back up from the ground up.
But this is what people need to think about. Like, that's why you should be angry at the MAGA Republicans right now. They're willing to sacrifice all of us, all of our livelihoods.
Yes.
For what? To get some dipshit back in power? They're willing to sacrifice all of us. Listen to what I'm saying.
But listen to what I'm saying, though. They truly believe, okay, like the MAGAs or not, the MAGAs truly believe that our country is falling apart. They're not wrong. They're not wrong.
They're not helping. That's for sure.
But the way you go about fixing it, they're being given this disillusion of what's happening, and they're falling for it. Just like a lot of Democrats are being given a disillusion of what's happening and are falling for it. Okay? Both sides are falling for it from two different angles. And they're not seeing the backroom deals that are going on. They want to collapse the economy so that they can make money. And then they want to build it up. And how do you do that? You do it with war. You think that Ukraine, Russia is a coincidence? You think it just happened out of the blue? It's been in the makings for a decade. If Hillary Clinton would have beat Donald Trump, the Ukraine-Russia war would have started in 2018.
I don't want to see us getting involved in another war. I really don't. I hope it ends up being, we talked about a whole show about war and money. Hey, I don't want to see us get another war, man. We're tired. The people are tired, but we just need focused on us. The whole, everybody, everybody, if anybody's listening out there, it's time to focus on the people, because the people are suffering. We are suffering bad.
And those that are in power and have money don't care about we the people. They care about we the dollar, and that's all they care about.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's so easy to brainwash people that are desperate.
And they make promises like, if you watch all of Trump's speeches, okay, he always promises what he's going to do. On almost all of them, he says he's going to do it on the first day he gets back in there. And the stuff he promises are ridiculous. Freedom cities with flying cars. Like, get the fuck out of here with it. It's just nonsense. Who could possibly support somebody like that? It's maddening. It's still maddening. And he's the front runner. He is crushing DeSantis in the polls.
Would you like to own a flying car?
I would love to own a flying car, but I don't want a Trump-built flying car. I don't want anything to do with that guy.
Well, no, I wouldn't want a Trump-built flying car, just like I wouldn't want a Biden-built flying car. But I would definitely take an Elon Musk-built flying car.
They're coming. They're coming, man. They got them.
But I want you to think about this. Yes, a flying car. I would love a flying car. Trump is going to take us into the future.
Yeah, right. We're going to move to a freedom city and we're going to get a flying car. There's somebody out there right now. Oh my God, honey, Trump is going to build his freedom. There's somebody that did it. I swear to God. But then like the book, oh my God, I have the Donald Trump book, the letters to Trump. Okay, first I wrote a book. Paul wrote a book. Donald Trump didn't write shit. All he did was put a bunch of dumbass letters. This is narcissism at its like core. This should be the definition display of narcissism. He wrote a book about letters telling him how great he is, how good he is. And there's letters in there from Putin. There's letters in there from Kim Jong-un, from North Korea. I mean, what? And it's $89 on Amazon. There are signed copies on eBay of this disgraced literature for $700-800. It's just another grift. He didn't do anything to.
I want you to think about this, okay? And you can make fun of Trump all you want. It's easy to do.
I will.
All right.
I will.
He has people that are so loyal to him. He could literally take out a box of crayons and just draw little smiley faces on a page, and people would buy that book. But hold on. I can guarantee you, if Barack Obama did the same thing, he would sell just as many books.
Probably. But the point is, Barack Obama wouldn't do that. Trump would do some shit. If Trump farted in a bottle, somebody would buy it, okay?
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not disagreeing with that. I am just the point I'm trying to make. That popularity of loyaltism that comes in. And I know there's a lot of people that go, it's a cult. Yes, there is a lot of cult mentality with that. Okay.
There is.
I mean, you don't see people walking around wearing U.S. flags and Biden hats and stickers and lassos and getting their guns designed with the American flag on it and stuff like that.
All right. So if it's not a cult, though, why did they celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Waco siege in Waco? Come on, that's cult shit right there.
I'm not in disagreement. But my point is that the left is just as close to being that cult as what the right already is. And that's the difference I'm trying to point out here, is that, yes, the right may already be in that cult status. Well, not maybe, it is. The left is just that close behind. I mean, like I said, Marianne Williamson did a post and people were just throwing the hate out there because they're Biden loyalists and there's nothing Biden can do that's wrong. That same mentality is on the left also. And what I try to get people to see is that mentality is what we all need to get beyond. We have to get back into the flow of what is necessary in this life. We need to love each other. We need to help each other. We need to stand up for each other. Not the opposite of that. Not the opposite of that. And if we all started to do that and got behind each other and wanted to help each person, give each person that hand up instead of that foot down. Okay?
This country would be a much better place.
It'd be a much better place. All right. And
what's wrong with that? Like, why do we need all the hate? Why? I don't understand the unnecessary hate and anger. I get why they're doing it at the high level because they use,
superiority.
Please. But you're right, though. The mentality of these people and the. But I will give Trump credit for one thing. He has some of the most loyal idiots I've ever seen in my life. He has some loyal people. He does. I mean, because when I watch his speeches, and I watch every time he puts one of his dumb speeches on Truth Social, I end up seeing it. And half the time, none of it even makes sense. He just talks about how great he is. It's the most narcissistic stuff I've ever seen. It's like he's trying to convince other people that he's the greatest thing in the world, but it makes him look like it's just But people are like, oh my God, I love him. I'm going to buy his book. I'm going to buy some NFT cards. I'm going to buy a hat. Like, you got to be kidding me, guys. Save your money.
When you look throughout history and you look at all the different elections and you look at the populations and the percentages, the Republicans have always been more loyal when it comes to voting. Okay? Whenever there's a vote, they get out there. They vote. Mm-hmm. And they're loyal to their party. Okay? Democrats, on the other hand, you'll see fluctuations. And the reason for that is that when things are going good, I'm just going to work and do what I do, and I don't need to go out and vote because things are good. Why would I waste my time and go out and put my ballot in the box? Why would I do that? Okay? So when the Democrats would win, it's because they feel like there's an impending doom of some sort coming, and we need to get out there. There's a war that needs to come to an end. There's something going on that needs to be addressed. So now we'll get out there and fight for it.
Well, that's how I learned when I was researcher for our episode that we did on critical race theory. Like, that's what I learned from that. It's true. People don't care about the situation until it negatively affects them. Right. Then they care. We need to somehow get people to care before that happens, because typically people just don't give a shit about any problems unless like people like us who voluntarily get involved. But it's true. People typically just don't care or don't want to care about stuff if it doesn't affect them, which, I mean, it makes sense. It's hard enough to live life in America as it is. You know what I mean? It's and getting involved in stuff like we get involved in, it's messy. You deal with ignorant people. The comments I get on Clapper, because there's a lot of pro-Trumpers on there right now, are insane. Mm-hmm. Nasty, just complete ignorant. Doesn't even have anything to do with what I'm talking about in the video. They just lash out. And
I know, but here's why I bring up that loyalty aspect, okay? When fear is the main component here, okay? Yes. All right. Yes. Republicans, regardless of fear or not, would get out there and vote. Democrats would vote because of fear. Now, your Republican turnout has become even stronger because now the Republicans are utilizing that same tool, fear.
Yeah,
we have
they're using it well.
Virus, and they're going to take over our schools, and they're going to do this, and they're going to do that.
Yeah, they're indoctrinating our kids. Like, come on, stop it. But they're doing it well. They do their propaganda game well. I'll give them credit for that.
Yes.
And they're literally ripping a country in half, for self-benefit, which I think is messed up. But, it's just my opinion. Who am I? I'm a nobody.
But it is because of we have to win versus we need to do better.
But they're contradicting themselves, though, because the more they talk about woke and the woke mind virus, the more they're making people aware of what woke is. And when people realize what woke is a good thing, you know what I mean? Once they realize that being woke aware is a good thing, well, they're actually making people more woke by targeting it. They're backfiring it.
I just had this discussion on the Vellum yesterday with T-Paw. Okay. Bill Maher and Elon Musk was on Bill Maher, and they talk about the woke mind
virus. Yeah.
Okay. And I watch Tyrone Magnus on YouTube, and he does these film reviews, and he has other people that come on that will give their breakdown of whether or not a film is good, just like they just broke down Peter Pan, the new Peter Pan and Wendy film. And the Lost Boys are no longer the Lost Boys. They're girls now. Okay. This this
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
This is the woke mind virus that I actually agree with is going too far. When you take a storyline and to make it more diverse and to give women strong lead roles, and now you're going to change the essence of a story to do
that's been around for decades. Yeah, I'm serious. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is going to be all girls this time, and I can't for the life of me picture
Donatella. Yeah,
I don't want to watch them. I mean, I love women. I love you. I respect everything about you, but I don't want to watch a movie with 4 female turtles running around. And that to me, that's like a good idea.
Well, and I would watch 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that are female, but don't
I grew up with the original.
Don't convert the original Turtles to that. Make another show.
Right, make something new. Make something new. Everybody wants to remake stuff. They don't want to be creative anymore. Everybody just wants to recut old stuff to make it more diverse. I mean, but and diversity is a good thing. Diversity
is
absolutely.
The book I'm writing is so fucking woke and so diverse. It's not even funny, but it's a unique story that I'm writing, and I'm not changing anything that goes out of the characteristics of what is,
Right.
I have some strong lead women. I have strong lead men. I mean, the population is 50-50 with men and women. So why wouldn't I have it at about 50-50? I have some strong people of color. I have some strong people from other countries. I cover 5 continents in my book. So I got people from all over the world. I have diversity. Okay. But
that's a new story, though. You're creating a new story that is relevant with today's society.
I'm not making all the people in India black, and I'm not making all the people in Madagascar white, and I'm not making all the people in Ireland Native American. I'm not changing things for what they actually are. And when you get to a point where you have to make something into something it isn't, now you're part of the problem. And this is where that woke brain virus is going in some aspects. There are people that are taking it too far.
Well, that's the extremism, like you always talk about. There's extremism on the left. There's extremism on the right.
Right.
The more people we can bring to center, and that's another thing I wanted to bring up earlier. Between there's a growing pool of independent voters anymore. So, what I mean? I mean, there's not a third party at the moment, but there's a lot of people that are in the middle right now that want to vote for the best candidate because that's obviously what makes sense. But at the moment, do you even see the Republicans standing a chance next year with this current? Because there's no platform. Yes. Their platform is hate, lies, propaganda.
Yes.
I don't think it's possible unless they cheat their way into it. But I think they're too exposed at this point. Let's talk about this. I don't think people realize how big a deal, because we got like 7 minutes, how big a deal it is that the Proud Boys leaders got charged with sedition. Okay, because they even said in court they were just doing what Trump wanted them to do. So if they're convicted of sedition and they were doing what they were told, well, guess who's next? MAGA. And there was more than just Donald Trump involved in the January 6th insurrection as well. So the leader of the Proud Boys was charged with sedition, and he was not actually present during January 6th. So you don't have to be present to be charged with a conspiracy to commit sedition. You know what I mean? So,
but the people on the right are going to argue it's a deep state conspiracy. You're targeting us. You're singling us out.
And but nobody believes that bullshit anymore, though. I mean, some people do, but most of America doesn't.
Yes,
some do. Some do.
Dude, this last election, if your theory was correct on being able to change people's minds, Biden and Trump, it wouldn't have been 80,000 or whatever thousand to 70 or 80 million to 76 million or 74 million or whatever it is, it would not have been that close.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it would not have been that close. That it would. The Republicans would have only had half those votes, but no, because there are people that believe the propaganda.
Well, they did a poll, and I can't remember who did the poll, but a large percentage. I can't even remember.
How often do you get called for a poll?
I mean, not often, but I mean, a lot of people say they still believe that the 2020 election was stolen. A lot of people still believe that.
Yes.
And they said they would vote for Trump just because they feel that's insanity, man. There's people that would vote for Trump, they said, just to piss off liberals.
Yes.
Like that's what their mindset is on votes. Okay. So remember, these people all have a right to vote. Yes. And that's the reasoning they're using. Jeremy, like they're not using any political common sense is out the window.
Jeremy, there's people on the left that are going to vote for somebody on the left just to piss off the right.
Yeah. It's, oh my God. It's like we have a bipolar country. Okay. Our whole country needs a bipolar.
Biden is running for a second term, and people are getting nasty with anybody that wants to run against him.
I mean, loyalty is what it is, but that's the country we have right now. I mean, maybe in the future it won't be this way, but you're right. This is what hate breeds. Now we have people openly attacking other people. This has become normalized. They have literally normalized hate in this country now.
And this is what
I just point this out. I'm sorry. In other countries, Canada, New Zealand, when people travel to other countries, typically they give you a list of things like to be careful of. Mass shootings is now on the list of things to be careful of when you're traveling to our country. That is crazy.
That have put out travel bans advising people not to go to the United States.
Yes. That's what we are famous for right now. We are famous for mass shootings. That is not something to be proud of. And the people, I mean, I'll say again, I'm sorry, but nobody on the right is speaking up against this. Nobody. Not a goddamn one of them.
You know what we need to do in this country? If you truly, truly, truly wanted this country to become a better country and fix itself, we need to convert to either a ranked choice or a star voting system. Okay. And we also need to write an amendment and make it mandatory. Anybody the age 18 and older must vote.
I kind of
voting
like that, actually.
Must be mandatory. You turn 18, just like when you turn 18, you got to sign up for the selective service, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right? You turn 18, you must vote.
Because think about it, right now, it's really a popularity contest. Whoever puts the most money in, whoever gets the most vote, you know what I mean? They go around the country, vote for me, vote for me, vote for me. But if everybody had the vote, that would be different. I mean, that would make sense. I'd be hard to enforce, I think.
President, and not just for president. Everybody should.
I don't vote locally. I've just gotten involved in politics. And I'll admit it, I'm a little ignorant when it comes to local politics, but I'm just getting into freaking national politics.
I think that everybody should have to vote for their federal senator, their federal House representative, their state senator, their state governor, the federal and state levels need to be voted on, and I think they need to be mandatorily regulated where everybody 18 years of age and older must vote. And I personally truly believe that if we mandated a vote, people would become more interested in it because now they have to vote on somebody. And granted, there's going to be people that are going to be like, well, I don't give a shit. Boom, 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 boom. Okay.
Right.
All right. But look at what we have now. We have people R, D, 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 D. Okay.
That's got to stop.
All right. Exactly. When you have the ranked choice voting and it's mandated and people are starting to actually look at who's out there. And I also believe we need to eliminate the parties. No parties.
Definitely.
And if we could do that, I'm telling you, we would have much better people running for office.
I also think the money's got to stay out of politics too somehow. There's got to be a complete reform of campaign finance, of donation policies, the whole 9 yards, because they can't be whoever raised the most money and got a chance to make more ads won. That's not fair, even if their policies are crap. So,
yeah. Well,
we're an hour already.
Yeah, and I actually talk about this in my book on what we need to do. The only thing I don't talk about in my book is the star choice, the star and ranked choice voting. I don't talk about those because I wasn't knowledgeable about them at that point in time. I wasn't educated to those until afterwards. But as far as eliminating all the parties, that's what we need to do, and we got to take the money out of politics. I agree.
I hope. And this will be the last thing I say. I hope that what's going on right now is a catalyst to make the country stronger, because I think people are paying attention to how important democracy and the Constitution really are to our way of life. So I'm hoping this is the catalyst that gets people to pay attention.
It is, and that's just it. Whether they're on the right or the left, more people are paying attention. More people are waking up. More people are starting to dig into things a little bit more. I know that there's people on the left and the right that are now independent because they're really tired of the bullshit from both sides. They really are. I included. I was a lifetime liberal, okay, and I'm now an independent because when back in 2008 and 9, when I started looking into politics and starting to see that the liberal platform was supposed to be for the people. And when I started looking at the votes that hurt people and benefited corporations, I was like, what the hell? And then I started looking at the Republican Party because I'd been told all my life that they were just evil and corrupt. And when I started looking into them, it's just like, they're one and the same party. And it's no longer about left and right. It's about property versus human. Property rights versus the humanitarian rights. There's the difference. Corporation versus human. That's where we are.
That's what it is, man. So,
all right, Jeremy. All right.
That was fun. Fun. I got some of that nervous energy out. I feel better.
Yes.
This was my therapy session talking to you.
Just a reminder to everybody, this is my last episode for like the next 2 to 3 weeks. I will be back either the last week of May or the first week of June. It all depends upon how fast I can get my book finished. I am writing another book. This one is fiction. It is still political. The political undertones are definitely there because I just can't get the politics out of my blood. And speaking of blood, it's about vampires and druids. So cool. There we go. There we go. Sex, violence, drugs, rock and roll, all the things that make it vampires, druids, magic, all the fun things that make a book fun.
Yep. Hey, even though I don't have my own show or my own podcast, I will still be online talking shit if anybody wants to find me.
Yeah, the Esteban Hour.
Yep, I got that. You give me on Instagram, SGT Nobody 77, Jeremy Baker on Facebook, and then Clapper, that SGT Nobody 77.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm a social media refugee, so I'm not on Twitter or TikTok, unfortunately.
There we go. Let me get that back up there so everybody can see it real quick. And I'll let that run through a couple times just to make sure everybody gets a good little look. Check out.
A good show. So have fun writing your book.
Oh, I am. I'm loving it. Oh my God. And if you like horror fantasy, all those that have seen True Blood, Suki.
I remember that show.
Okay. You're going to find a lot of essence in relation to that. If you like Game of Thrones, I got a Game of Throney thing type going on. If you like the Lord of the Rings, I got a little aspect of that going on in there,
I want to write another book, man, but I don't think I'm going to at this point. I honestly don't. My first one hasn't done anything, so I'm not even worried about it anymore, really. It was fun to do, but you know what I mean. I'm not really focused on it anymore. I've kind of moved on.
I
don't even know what I don't have a plan. I'm just winging it, man.
I have like
I'm literally winging it.
17 books. Let me go real quick to my immediate file. Hold on a second. I am writing. Let me see. Okay. All right. The book I'm working on right now is called The Rainbow Prophecy. Book 1 is Blood Schism, and I plan on having 2 more books following that. I have, let me go through here. I have TJ. TJ is about it's supernatural, angels, demons, spiritual. There's a lot of abuse and stuff like that. So if you like spirits and the demons and the angels and that kind of stuff, you're gonna love that. I plan on a 3-book series with it. I have let's see, Breathe, Dystopian Future. It's kind of my impression of like if Trump became a dictator of what the world would be like. So that's kind of the essence of it. It's a dystopian future. I plan on 3 books with it. I have Badge of Blood. I have Wallpaper. I have Bullshit.
That's appropriate.
Bullshit. Yes,
that's appropriate.
Anyways, those are like the 6 main titles that I'm actually working on. Badge of Blood is a bounty hunter vampire. That's going to be good. Wallpaper is a psychological thriller where these young couple they buy this house, and as they're taking the old wallpaper off, they discover names written in the corner of certain pieces of it and dates, and then they decide to call the police, and the police discover that it's not actually wallpaper, it's skin. It's visuals. I have some real good stories going. I'm hoping this publisher will take me on for like a 6 or a 9 book contract or something.
I've just, since I met you, I've started using my voice more, and I've been more comfortable being on camera because this is all new to me. I used to hate being on camera. I wouldn't even let people take pictures of me. And now you got me. You're like, oh, you got to be on social media. I'm like, God damn it. Now I like it. I'm obsessed with it. I can't stop. Like, I don't even need a social media manager. I do this shit all day myself.
Yes. Well, one day we're all going to become famous, and we're going to have production crews working around us, helping us do our show, and we're going to be like the 6 o'clock news. Okay, you and me, Jeremy, we got this, man.
Just somebody unleash me. Let me just verbally slay people. Come on, man. I'm just like, I want to verbally destroy people. Put me in front of Marjorie Taylor Greene.
You know how Fox has their view of 5 or whatever, their table of 5 or whatever.
I don't watch any of that bullshit. No, okay. I don't like any of those guys.
Well, you always got to watch the enemy to know what they're doing. Okay.
I know. It's hard to.
Anyways, yeah, it's very hard.
It's hard to watch, man.
Anyways, we could do a whole nother hour show just on that show. But anyways, could you imagine you, me, Lana, Sarah, and Papo having our our own view, our own round table?
We would get in so much trouble. I would be a lot of fun. That I just pictured it in my head for a second. I had to pause. I'm like, yeah, that would be fun with Lana and freaking Sarah and Esteban. Oh my God.
Yes.
That would be brutal.
That would be like the ideal show for me,
I would say, hey, look, talking shit is my superpower. Yeah. Dave Chappelle says talking shit is an art form. So I always say talking shit is my superpower. Yeah. That's all I do best, man.
Okay. Well, Jeremy, thank you again. Appreciate you coming on here. It's been a great show. Remember, I'm on
Enjoy your time off.
Yes. Vacation, 2-3 weeks, finish my book up and get it out there. My second book, I'm telling you. Woohoo! All right. Remember, everyone, be kind, be happy, and may good things come your way. Thank you.